Hey guys, today we're going to be doing our Summer of Sushi, and to start it all off, we're going to show you how to make some sushi rice so you can make all your sushi rolls and it'll be awesome. First thing you're going to need is sushi rice, or any short grain rice that would work. And rule number one with cooking rice, always wash it first, so we're going to do that right now. Alright, so right here we have about 1.5 cups of rice. You're going to want to wash it thoroughly. Always use cold water, don't use warm water, and don't crush it down, just kind of massage it around. We'll show you how to do that right now. Just want to move around the rice. You'll see all that starch coming off, and that starch is what's gonna... Not having all this starch on there is going to make your rice a whole lot better, so keep massaging it out. And you're going to want to wash it about 2 or 3 times. And you'll want to keep washing your rice until it's kind of semi-clear like that. Then just go ahead and start to cook it. Alright, so now that our rice is washed, we're going to go ahead and start cooking it. For this, we're going to use almost a 1-to-1 ratio of rice to water. We'll add just a little bit more. Each pot is different, and unless you're using a rice cooker, we're going to be cooking on the stove. You're just going to have to learn how to make it fluffy and right. We're up at 7220 elevation, so I'm going to add just a smidge more water because it takes a little bit longer for that evaporation to get going. So here we go. Alright, so now we're going to get to cooking the rice. Like I said, it's about a 1-to-1 ratio, so I have 1.5 cups of rice, and I have 1.5 cups of water with maybe just less than, maybe like 1/8 of a cup more to adjust for the elevation and to get that evaporation right, to get that perfect rice. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to put the stove to about medium high, to about a 7 or 8. So we're going to set our stove to about medium high at a 7. And once this rice starts to boil, then we'll push it down to a 4. Alright, so we got our rice cooking. We're just going to let that get up to a boil. Once we start seeing a little bit, then we're going to reduce it down and give it a little stir. So when your rice is right here, just starting to boil, you're going to give it a quick stir. And even though we did wash it, some starch is still being released from the cooking process. So once you get that slow, steady boil, we're going to cover it up. And we're going to turn our stove down to about 3.5, 4. Now we're going to set our timer for 10 minutes. Alright, and while you're waiting for your rice to cook, you can get your sugar, rice vinegar, and your salt. Those are the 3 ingredients you're going to need to make your sushi rice. Alright, for this batch of sushi rice, to make our mixture, we're going to take about 1.5 ounces, or about 45 mils of rice vinegar. And there you have it right there. Just under a teaspoon of sugar. Got it in there. Then we're going to add about just a 1/2 teaspoon of salt to the mixture. And then you just get a chopstick and stir it up. You're going to want to stir until it's all dissolved. You can also put it in the microwave for about 15 seconds just to get it warm, because you're going to want to add it warm to the sushi rice when it's ready. Now you're not going to be adding the whole mixture to the rice. It's kind of more just the taste. You want the sushi rice to be a little bit of sour from the vinegar, but you also want it to be a little bit of sweet too, and that's where the sugar comes in. So once your rice is done, we'll add it together. Now when your rice gets down to that last second, we're going to go ahead and turn off the rice. Alright, now after your rice is cooked, you're going to let it sit for an additional 10 minutes. Leave it on the same burner you cooked it on, and don't open the lid, because you want to keep that steam in there. So let's let it go for 10 more minutes. Alright, so our rice has been steaming for 10 minutes now, so it should look just like that. Real nice and fluffy and airy. If you look through the lid, if you have a clear glass lid and it's not quite there, maybe let it sit for an additional minute. You can even turn the stove back on to get it kind of right there. So now we're going to fluff it up and make some sushi rice. Alrighty, so now we're going to fluff up our rice and put it into our wooden bowl. Alright, now so we're just fluffing up the rice and spreading it out. I want it to cool down. You don't want to put hot rice on any kind of seaweed, unless it makes it too soft to work with. Also, it's best to use a wooden bowl if possible. This one's kind of a big one. We usually make more rice than this. And the point of the wooden bowl is it's going to absorb some of that extra moisture in the rice. And after your rice is cooled for a little bit, we're going to get our rice vinegar mix that we made, and we're going to just pour a little bit at a time and then kind of fold it into itself. You want to preserve the integrity of the rice, and also what that rice vinegar is going to do is going to help separate each grain kind of individually. It'll also help make it sticky and malleable, so when you make your rolls it'll be easier to use. And again, you're just making it you're adding it just to taste. So if you don't care for too much of the rice vinegar, use a little bit less. Perfect. Another thing you want to have is going to be a towel or a wet rag. You're going to damp it up, you're going to put it over the rice to keep it moist. Sushi rice should be moist, you don't want it to dry out. Alright, so our rice is all ready. Now we're ready to make some sushi, and that's how you make sushi rice. Enjoy. Thanks for watching the video, guys. We're going to have a whole bunch of sushi recipes coming up for you. Summer of Sushi, so be sure to like, follow, and subscribe. And thanks.